and welcome to the RPG Blender, where we give lesser played games or forgotten settings the roll the dice they deserve. I'm your host, Game Master George, thrilled to welcome you to the next chapter in our adventure. Our heroes have learned more about the workings of this city. Can they find a benefit before time runs out? Find out as we explore a new land of power and ancient secrets in Exalted of Demons.
You know surely that I am placing great faith in you, that you are who and what you claim to be. I hope that this faith does not end up being misplaced.
We will do whatever is in our power to save this city, whatever the cost.
He nods and then sits down at his desk.
Before I leave, I say, I think I'm probably more than you hope. The question is, will this be enough to age? And I nod and then I just leave. Talking to my heartstrings, you prick.
Yeah, you know we're gonna fucking reveal ourselves to be anathema.
How dare you use my fucking chaotic good nature against my true neutral character? How dare you?
What can I say? Anyway, what do you do?
I guess we should, I don't know, I just try and put more bugs in Addermalik's ear all day. Like, I don't really have anything else to do at this point.
I'm actually, this is going to sound completely crazy. I want to see if there's like a mask shop in town. Like, I want to find out where they get their masks from, right? Because someone has to make it for them, right?
It's gotta be a secret.
Or maybe it's passed down. I don't know. But like, I'm just thinking like what if they like break their mask? They got to get another one, right? Like if we could trace who the masks come from, this sounds completely...
Why do you care that much? I just want to know why you care.
Well, if we know who owns the masks and who's producing the masks, we'd be able to find who the members of this upper-class society are. And once we know who they are, that is a great asset. We know what they want, what they value, who they love. These are all important things to bring to the negotiation table. As George's mind explodes.
Well, no, you're actually, when you eventually get to that point, I will have to teach you how social combat works, and that's very close to how social combat works in this system.
Yeah, who they love, manipulate them.
Yes.
I can find out probably who they are after the meeting.
Well, that doesn't really do us much good. We want to have as much information going into the meeting. I mean, if
do we know where they meet?
Well, we have been given the meeting. Had someone probably, just as the bartender came to our ship, someone will probably come to our ship and say, I'm here to bring you to the meeting, and they'll bring us to the meeting and we'll have the meeting.
If they have items or the places that they sit, I might be able to pick up the scent and follow it depending on the last time that they meet.
Well, yes, if we know where the meeting places take place, but we don't know that. We don't know anything. The only thing we know is that they wear masks.
We were given a place to go, weren't we?
No.
Oh, and they don't have like a town hall where these people meet?
No, they have their meetings in random locations while all wearing masks, so none of them can be identified.
I didn't hear the random location part.
Well, I didn't say random location, but it is pretty much implied with the rest of all their secretive whatnots.
The only thing that ties them all together, the common denominator, is the mask. If we can find out who produces the mask for them and who ships it and where that comes from, it gives us our first clue.
Maybe Dirham's demon knows what it's made of, because if we know what it's made of, then that might...
Yes, I mean, we could ask him for help, but would he be open to an idea that I suggest?
Does it involve you using your people?
Well, I mean, if they could search through the town and speak with people about obtaining crafting a mask.
This was a hypothetical question. You should understand by now that the people and your unevenness with them, or the perceived unevenness with them, is the problem. Hey, the Malik, come on.
Well, if I'm searching and they're also searching, we're all contributing to the same goal. I don't... Why is that a bad thing?
It's a perceived bad thing.
How is it a perceived bad thing for all of us to be working? They're part of the team as much as you and Dira.
I'm not getting into this right now. Actually, we do get into it, but it's off camera.
Okay.
Because Smiling Mountain has all the time and patience in the world. However, podcast can only too long. So
True. So, do you go off hunting Dirham?
Yeah.
No. Oh, I was going to go to the boat and send people out to find a mask.
You can go ahead. I'm going to go look for Dirham. I know where you're at. I'll find you.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know what you're looking for, and it's easier to have a direction, but you use your strength, Adamalik.
I will use my followers, and you can use his enslaved demon.
Okay.
Ta-ta!
Okay. Adramalik heads back to the boat, and Smiling Mountain attempts to find Dirham. How do you begin looking for Dirham?
Dirham!
How loud are you?
I'm huge, so I can literally only imagine that I'm not a quiet person. And then let me you know what? Let me make a roll. So I'm actually just going to try and like literally like sniff him out because I have that ability and I'm going to use it. Damn it.
Okay, use it.
I'm just using my super scent, which just aids me in survival tracking. He's been here over the last day, so as long as I cross streams and stuff, I should be fine. And it's not raining or anything weird, right?
Nope.
So it does say that distracts from it, but also with scent, rain doesn't get rid of scent. That's why bloodhounds work so good. And if you go into water, it actually does nothing. Bloodhounds actually smell you better in water. We might have to resort to yelling.
Stunned.
All right, yeah, thanks.
Nobody has stunted yet.
So as I'm going and everything like that, I actually do take something from I'm just gonna say it's something that like I keep like small pieces of things from party members that they have, like whether like they got like a wound and to cut off like a piece of something, like I'll just pocket that for later. So I just take a piece of like his like jade like gauntlet wrappings and stuff like that burn off.
You got some of the ripped up sleeves from when I got messed up in one of the
many
fights.
Fights, yeah. So but again, and you have a very distinct smell of that gunpowder stuff and fire. So like I just like kind of like rub that under the old nose and then like kind of begin like just kind of tracing it, eliminating things. So some people it's just like, okay, that's just a fireworks shop. It's kind of like moving past it.
Okay, you can have a 2-dot stunt.
Thank you. All right. Yes. All right, and that explodes. All right, so there we go. Perfect. So now we have a 5, and that was because I only had a 2. I just got 3. So
okay. You do eventually find the track of Dirham. He was not taking any particular points to hide his track.
That's probably why he's not, and it's also hard to find because he's also not moving in any particular direction. So it's just
and you were also relatively near the Hall of Records anyway, so chances are good that he would have passed your way. And you do trace him back to the fountain in front of the Hall of Records, unless he has moved since then.
Nope. Okay. Staying there, just watching people come and go and just picking up on the habits of anybody interacting with the Hall of Records. He's pretty much like staking out the joint.
Yeah. You see a couple people go in and out, not very many, and they're not in there very long. You see a very large woman walk by pulling some large barrels. You see a man who's coming by with his own monkey, but it doesn't seem to be acting as intelligently as Uba has in the past. You see a whole bunch of random people walking by.
Are there any and then after this you can find me, are there any notable identifying features similar to them? Is there like a sash or like a or an armband or anything that's like...
Oh, you mean the ones going into the building?
Correct. Anything that I see that's uniquely identifying to everybody who enters the building to say, I can come in.
There is nothing uniquely identifying on their person. However, as they go in, they do produce a scroll which they hand to the guard, who then verifies and allows them in.
Okay.
And at which point, Smiling Mountain arrives.
You're like obviously like kind of like pensive and like just sitting there and like staring at the fountain, right?
Yeah, he's hunched over, elbows are on his knees, his hands hanging slack as he's just sort of like he's got like the 1,000-yard stare, but clearly at the door.
Yeah.
It's just, and his small little eye twitches here and there as he's just not moving beyond that.
So for whatever's sake, Smiling Mountain will sit down and he'll just sit and just enjoy the fountain in the area for a good while. It's kind of leaving here like to his thoughts, but we'll just sit for a time and just allow this to kind of continue.
He does. There's probably a solid couple of minutes, in which case he just sits there with you.
I'm willing to sit there for like a good, so I don't know when you're planning on being like when you talk, but I would sit there for a half hour. So that's the maximum of time it's Smiling Mountain. Wait. So if you're like a few minutes pass and then insert.
Yeah, he would end up talking after a few minutes of it. And then so the few minutes pass and eventually he says, I don't think it's slavery.
Do you intend to mistreat the preacher?
Of course not.
This is all that matters to me. And what matters to you is how you view it. So that's fine. But what matters to me in this moment is how you're viewing Andrew Malik. It does not seem to be it's upsetting you greatly, friend.
Yes.
What do you wish to do?
Well, we have to keep going. That's not a question, neither here nor there. And as much as it makes me very, very sick in my gut, those people, I was not glamorizing that moment. I literally watched those people pick him up and say, the chosen one, and bring him out of the room. I did not continue this conversation. When I began to give more information, I was accosted for giving more information. Should this information have come up sooner? Probably. Is there a lot of things going on? Definitely. I will allow whatever that is to be. And should Adramalik and whatever he is turn for the worse, you know what I will do. But if those people are fine with their cult existence, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's just how it goes. So long as he does not run them off of a cliff or brutalize them or do anything of the like and treats them like people, which the jury's still out on that regard. It's not my place. We have a world to change, but I didn't enslave that demon. Continues staring at the door. There's a significant amount of people who have these writs. There, points one out as somebody goes to the door.
When he says I didn't enslave that demon, he goes back to it. Rakeem will just kind of just put a hand on his shoulder and everything like that, and he'll move it over because he's not trying to dwarf. There are times where Rakeem is actively trying to make people feel little.
Yeah.
And there are obvious times where he's really trying hard not to make people feel little. And so he's gonna just put this much of his hand on Jerem's shoulder and be like, then it is as you say. And be troubled by it no more. But I agree with you. I mean, if Adramalik mistreated those people who trust him and are clearly reverent toward him, I would cast him into the sun myself. But he does not. Again, as far as how I would see, I agree there is unevenness there, but that is for whatever. If it bothers you too much, though, you must tell me. Your compass points one way, my friend, and that way is the direction I believe that we are supposed to be headed. I do not want you.
And next time he says that I enslaved that demon, I'm going to shoot him in the head with my Dragon's Eye wand.
All right.
And he says that, he turns at you and he says it point blank, looking up at you in your eyes.
Because Rich is like, ah! But, I feel like Mountain's a little bit better than me. So Mountain will give you kind of just like a smiling nod and say, then I think it is probably best that we do not give that opportunity to happen.
I'd agree.
Well,
did either of you find anything out? Where's Adramalik now?
He is out using his strength to look for who the council is. Turns out they're very secretive. The people who rule this place, they have random meetings in random locations. No one knows who they are. They wear masks. The masks that you said you saw, I was chewing very loudly, but Adramalik seems to have made that connection.
As in of the individual who bound the demon?
Yes, but they all look like this, every one of them. So Adramalik also thought up that the only connection they have is the masks. So unless they're personally making these masks, which I doubt because not everyone's good at making masks, the masks are being made for them. And so he is trying to find out who makes those masks so that we can track who these people are, so that way we can have a better chance of negotiating with them.
When you find the mask makers, you've got to have at least met the individual behind the mask.
You've got it, or at the very least you are one more person removed, and then it's an easier step, yes. But it is a good idea. Again, Adramalik is not without his strengths.
Is that getting too close to the idea of asking who the council members are? The same thing that we were concerned about doing for drawing unwanted attention?
No, we asked who they were so we could know who we were meeting with, and then we were told, no one knows. So
no. I understand that part. Going out amongst the city and asking who makes the council masks.
Well, if it's done in such a point-blank manner, yes. But I imagine. Oh wait, no, they're idiots. Here's the point.
And a slew of people are now going through the city trying to find out about a very iconic mask.
If he gets, let's just not sleep there tonight. If he gets black bagged, then that was a bad idea.
And then we'll cut back to that bad idea. Adramalik, you arrive back at the boat. What do you do?
Okay. Let's see. Where are you? Oh, Horace! There you are.
Horace, that was the big one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Yep.
Horace, I'm going to need you to organize our best stealthy, sleuthy people, and we are going to go out on a mission of utmost import. We must be very secretive about this. We can't have anyone catching scent of what we're doing. But I have deduced that the leaders of this city wear very secretive masks so as to hide their identity. I simply wish to inquire throughout the city, secretively, as it were, about perhaps acquiring masks for our own members. just to see who's the one who produces masks in the city. And once we've narrowed that down, perhaps deduce from there which sort of people we need to speak with to find out the identity of these upper circle members.
So we'll fan out across the city. We'll find all the mask makers. We'll question them about these masks and...
Secretively. We don't want to cause a hubbub, I'm sure. If the members of this upper society found out what we were doing, it would draw unwanted attention to ourselves, especially given that we are meeting with them in just one day's time. So make sure you do so as surreptitiously as possible. And perhaps let me do the talking with the people. Simply identify them and find out who they are, and now bring that information to me, and I will speak with them personally.
So we will find all the mask makers in the city and then bring you their location.
Yes, but make sure it is mask makers that would be able to create a quality mask. I mean, we're not talking about some rinky-dink, like, plain thing. I mean, I am indeed going to be placing an order for masks for all the members of the family. I think that would be due, and that would be an ample cover. But also, it is important that we find who these members are.
Very well. We will do that.
Good man, Horus. Very well. And Adramalik will proceed into his quarters, and he'll begin picking up some of his trinkets from his treasure pile, and be like, okay, yeah, I have to bring this with me. I can't sleep without this. And he'll put them into his pouch, and then he'll grab his bedroll and bring it down to the quarters where Stephanie is, and he will inform her that he will be sleeping there tonight.
You will? Really?
Yes, actually, but I'm sorry. It will not be... You will not be in the room. You will actually be able to sleep in my quarters. So you will not have my presence. I apologize for that. But you will have the honor of being in my room. So there is something to go with it. But every one of your bunkmates here will be in my presence. We might make this some sort of ritual thing. Maybe once every Monday. Like we have naming on Thursday, I'll sleep in a different person's bed every Monday.
She looks almost disappointed when you mention that everybody else is going to be there and she is not.
Yeah, but you get Uber. Uber will be in the main bedchamber, of course. I mean, he has his own little side bed there. I can't move that, so you understand.
Of course. I will take care of the monkey. Uber.
Thank you, Stephanie. Uber. And with that, Adramalik is pretty much done.
Okay. Your people, Horus gathers your random followers, attempting to find the most stealthy and secretive ones to go fan out in the city to find the mask makers.
And you speak the third most Italian. I don't speak any Italian. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that was Inglourious Bastards. Great movie.
All right. So the day begins getting long, and we are pressing into the afternoon. Does anybody have anything that they're doing?
Oh, I tell Theorem to ask his demon what the mask is. Other than that, I'm just looking for capital ventures, to invest in some.
You need
we
money
gotta start
that
that Tanner shop or whatever. We have a clothing store that we still can inhabit. I was serious about
Definitely
that.
That's not allowed to inhabit.
That's some coin, man.
We don't own it. I cannot explain harder enough to you that you cannot just walk into a building.
So
and be
we'll negotiate. We now know that the shop is owned by one of the members of the upper.
That's worse. It's so much worse.
So we'll put that on the table. We'll be like, hey, in order to save your city, you guys have to, surrender leadership to this barbarian horde. Also, we need your clothing shop.
I want your clothing shop on Main. There, I said it. Yeah, no, that's not.
If that's the deal breaker, they have their priorities completely wrong. I'm just throwing that out there. If that's where they're like, I draw the line, you're not getting the shop, then I'll be like, all right, fuck it, you deserve to die. Bye.
It's a balanced scale. Do you want to work with people who just willy-nilly free demons and try and claim ownership of shops? I don't.
I'm not trying to claim ownership. I'm trying to negotiate. I'm trying to. This is free market, baby. We're putting things on the table. Your life, your clothing shop. Because we know the Horde's gonna kill everybody. We know the Horde's gonna fucking take over and kill everybody.
Okay, but that's not true. We don't necessarily know that.
No, we know. We know that.
Okay.
We know that.
So,
one more thing. Can you ask your demon color site person if they know what the mask was made of?
Yes, we should go anywhere else but here at the fountain in front of the Hall of Records, probably a discreet location.
We can. Why don't we go back to the boat? Because
Looks
no one will be
pretty
there.
hideous. Sure.
Okay.
Right.
You head back to the boat. As you are arriving near the boat, you see Horus and a gaggle of other
Acolytes.
followers, family members, scattering
Not better.
cultists, family
You can
members
say
making their
cultists.
way out into the city and scattering, hopefully doing something good. And you make your way back onto the boat.
There goes bad idea.
Should we be stopping that? That should be maybe. No?
Horace, where are you going?
I'm going to find the mask shops so that we can find out who the leaders are. And
I'm just like, as I like walk toward them. Hey, Horace, what did you do before you did this?
I worked in a mine.
So just an espionage king. God, okay.
They did always say that I had the tightest lips within the. Can't.
I don't think that means. I don't think that means anything.
Oh, those mines.
Goes on underground stays.
I love Horace.
Okay. I'm guessing all the rest are like similar. It's like the very sneaky, like Stephanie and Gabriel.
I
and,
mean,
like, just people who are just.
These are
people.
random people that he
Yeah,
gathered.
the best of the best. Yeah, I get it.
They don't need to be stealthy. They just got to find out where the shops are. Tell me.
but that's not what he just. You didn't just say that. It was like, "Hello, I'm looking for mask shop. You know where the leaders get their masks today? Hi."
No, they're not asking where the leaders get their masks made. They're just looking for mask shops that are of a high enough quality so I can order masks for my followers. And that is the cover story, so I can go and talk with them and garner more information.
Okay.
Okay, so just be. What did Dadramatic tell you to say? What are you doing?
Oh, we're just trying to find out where the mask shops are so that he can then go and get masks for everybody.
You're not interacting with people. You're just.
He's just asking where the mask
Walking
shops are because he wants
around.
to buy masks.
Yeah, we just got to find them where the mask shops are. I mean, we'll probably have to talk to somebody to find out where the good mask shops are, but yeah.
Okay. Looks at Mountain.
1, 2, 3. I'm counting how many are going, so I can count how many come back.
5.
Oh
Okay.
my god. So dark. Everyone thinks, my god.
I would like to point out that I'm often wrong about my darkest assumptions, but I always have them just in case.
Hey man, expect the worst and you'll never be surprised. I like it. It's a good mentality.
All right. So I look at the arm. I say, this sounds okay.
It sounds plausibly
Acceptable?
okay and plausibly dangerous. Horace, was it?
Yes.
Can you and yours just try and keep your interactions to a minimum? Nothing, not even usage.
Use your eyes
Oh,
more
well,
than
we're
more
planning on
things.
splitting up, so we won't be interacting with each other very much.
Just try to keep your personal information close. Don't give out more than you need to.
Of course. Right.
And be careful.
But of
They're
course,
wearing their
we always
uniforms,
need-
right?
Yes.
They're black. They're stylish. You guys saw Mark working that, okay? You saw Mark posing. Those are some skin-like, form-fitting.
Identical people, well, not identical, but people in the same getup who are all going out going, I'm looking for mask shops.
Why are you looking? Because I want a mask for
I
everybody.
know, yeah, they want a
Everybody needs a
badge.
mask.
Black robes.
They
Yes.
were billowy robes, but they're now like
Now
leather.
they're
They're like a tight leather
sleek.
jerking.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
Yeah,
like-
they're different now. They do look like still
because
exactly
we
the
were
same.
modeling for Dirham because I
It's a
made him
different
a
identical
wonderful armor set.
setup.
Easily identified.
Cool.
That's why they want the masks. That
And
like
they're-
it makes sense. Actually, I think that fits with the story. I mean, we're gonna be entirely honest.
It does fit with the story.
It's the
Is
best
there
friend you
anything
have to
else
pull.
I can do for you, or can we get to work?
No, go. Good luck.
Thank you. And then he makes his way into the city. They head out.
him.
They
Godspeed.
point in different directions. A couple of them walk in the wrong direction first, but then head the other way, and then they scatter.
Dirham looks very pointedly at Mountain, not saying a word. Just one of these. Just a.
I don't even like. I know you're looking at me,
What?
but I just look off and I'm like, You think they do better without us? Like, and I get on. I start walking toward them.
All right.
I don't know anymore. Follows.
And where do you go? Into the boat or just on the boat?
Just so that we can get out of eye shot of anybody in Nachara. Yeah, so like
you just go to your room. I'm gonna go get Adramalik just to let him know we're here. I will join you in a moment.
Sure.
So if you ask all the questions you need, you can obviously just.
Okay. As you're heading to
go
your
to my room,
Dirham,
I'm not
you
there.
see Stephanie walking past you with a bunch of her things, heading toward Adramalik's room.
Are you gonna get to sleep in Adramalik's bed?
Dirham saw that.
Oh.
Because Dirham, you were heading to your room, right?
Yeah, I'm heading to my room. Pays no heed to it because he has no clue what any of that means.
Yep.
And goes to his room.
And Smiling Mountain, where did you go to try to find Adramalik?
I probably would have went to his room because I wouldn't have thought he was going to do the thing.
So you go to Adramalik's room and you see Stephanie in there setting up her things. You see a few tears in her eyes as she's doing
What's the matter, Stephanie?
It's just,
Why are you so sad?
I know it's such a kindness to get to take care of the holy monkey and to get to recline in the bed of the master, but everyone else gets to be with him all night.
How old is Stephanie? Is Stephanie have her whole life ahead of her? Is she is she in her twilight years and this is all she has left to do?
Right? She's your cook, right? Lower middle age.
Okay, so
30s, 40s.
All right, and I'm barely 20, so I'm so you're about to die anyway. Hey, I'm thinking how I thought as a freaking 19-year-old, where I'm you're basically dead. Go on the funeral pyre, just go out. As a child, I mean, yeah.
Holy shit! What the hell?
Oh boy, I'm the messed up one.
Well, I'm just saying how kids have a very disjointed age.
I'm not full Jonestown over here.
When you're 20 and you see someone who's 30, you're like, "Whew, how are those creaky knees, buddy? Here comes the wheelchair." And then 30 comes and you're like, "Fuck me, man, this is
exactly." And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm at 20, I'm saying it's middle age, 45, and I'm probably you've had your life, you're fine, obviously, because I'm a dumb kid. So I'm just trying to think in a dumb kid way.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, am I going to try and be get out of here? But I mean, if Dirham couldn't do it, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. So I'm Stephanie, look at it this way. They are going to be sleeping, but he is just there and they're all dreaming. You get to bask in the presence of where he lives all night.
I guess that's true.
You get to sleep and experience what he experiences. You get to almost, enjoy life as he does.
Give me a charisma socialize roll.
I'm going to knock it out of the park and could have saved this woman's life when it said I used it just to make her feel better for the night.
Help her sleep well in her giant king-sized silk sheet bed when she's like, "I'm doing it for him."
I'm sorry. The comedic value is just too good.
It is actually horrifyingly good.
I'm becoming far too comfortable role-playing your cult.
I'm sorry, George.
That is monkey, I gotta say.
It's my favorite decision that I made when I saw that there was an option to make a cult, and I was like, I'm doing it.
Anyway.
Sorry.
So I sit down for my stunt. I sit down next to her, I sit down on the bed and everything like that. And after I say all that stuff, and I say, and you know what he told me today? He told me Stephanie, and he said your name. He said is just as important as me to everyone, and she really helps everyone in really the same way that I do. And he said that about you, Stephanie.
Okay, you can have a dot stunt.
Oh wow, it was a success and not a success. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so the way that social stuff works, if you play on an intimacy that they have, it reduces their difficulty. Her tie to Adramalik and this whole thing is obviously a defining one, which gives her a -3 to her difficulty to resist that roll. You needed 1 success.
Wow.
Blew it out of the water.
Conversely, if you had gone the other route and attempted to convince her to leave, she would have gotten +4 to her difficulty.
So I could have saved it.
You would have had 7 as your difficulty.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, I thought it would have been 5.
Yes, you could have, but you would not have.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. She sniffles.
So it's inverted.
Yes.
The -3 becomes a +3.
Yep. Becomes a +4.
What's
so
the
actually
extra
inverted
one
+1? Mm-hmm.
Oh God! Holy moly!
Thank you. That helps. And plus,
keep
I'll
on
have Uba.
You will have Uba. All right. Good night, Uba. Good night, Stephanie. You keep making that good bacon, and I just shut the door.
Uba's over there snacking on some bacon. He's probably not supposed to eat it, but
definitely not.
I'm not here, digestive.
Yeah.
I'm not here. Oh, God.
My monkey's sick because you were keen. So then I'll go downstairs.
Oh, yes, Rakim.
I imagine
thought you were
everyone
out finding
scooched
Durham.
all their bunks as close as possible to the middle.
yes,
Yeah.
everyone is in the process of slowly, surreptitiously,
Scooching.
like inching their bunks closer. Again, to reiterate for our audience, we do not condone cults in
Cults
any
are
way,
bad.
shape, or form.
Cults
They're
are bad. This is
Dirham is
role play.
correct.
I don't know.
Cults
They
are
seem
bad.
pretty good to me.
Cults are bad. I'm role playing. I don't think cults are good. I hate cults.
Okay, so I'm gonna be like, come on, we have things to discuss and move and etc.
Oh, did you find Dirham?
I did.
And did he agree to help?
Yes, he is helping. On one condition: you do not ever mention that he is a demon in his service again.
But I'm sorry. Aren't we
Just don't bring it
asking
up.
him for the demon in his
I
service
already
to
did that.
help
I already
us
did that.
find
Shh.
the masked person?
Malik, this is the easiest broad brushstroke I can give you, and I need
that's
you
like a
just. I
resource.
need you to take this, and basically, you can ask him about the demon, but don't question the demon in his service. Just say, "Oh, can you ask your demon this?" This is
So he's
the
allowed
only
to judge me about my cult, but I'm not allowed to judge him about his demon that he has enslaved.
Yes, and if you use those words, then things will go very poorly very quickly.
What do you mean things are going to go very poorly very quickly?
And Malik, you're not so dense as this. I need to explain things to you, are you? Just do not bring it up. I am asking you not to bring it up. The
So
same
he's
way
allowed,
that I asked.
he's
the
allowed to
same
push my
way-
buttons,
The same
but I'm not allowed
way.
to push his buttons.
The same
When
way.
I'm doing nothing wrong and he's literally enslaving a demon.
Ed Malik. Also, he's yelling. Shouldn't there be like a listen check or something like that?
I am yelling, yes.
Okay, give me a perception awareness.
All right.
I hate to like start this powder keg, but I mean there it is.
Hey, Adjamalik has a problem with slavery. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it really is.
It is a very weird one.
It's
Ironically,
why his-
my problem with slavery is if
why
you
his
beat
fa-
these people, I would be angry.
No, they're not
I
enslaved.
botched.
They're a cult.
Oh, you definitely do not hear it.
You think you hear him say, "I fucking love Tyrion."
You think you're just doing your stuff, and then instead you hear Stephanie talking to Uba.
That'll
Shakes
haunt
his
you
head.
for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't question that Stephanie's in where Adjamalik's room is.
Eat the bacon.
So I'm like Malik. I ask him not to push your buttons, and if he does, he does. I cannot stop this from happening, but I do ask him to do these things.
Well, then you can't stop me from asking him to use a resource to help us achieve our goal of
I'm asking
saving the
you-
people of the city.
You know what, Malik? You're right.
Thank you. I didn't expect to hear you say that.
I cannot stop you. I can advise you, but as always, the decision is yours to make. I have given you what you probably should do, but what you do is for you. But I've
I
told
do
you
is
the-
for the people of Nashara. We need to find out who these people are so we have everything we need going into negotiations. We have a day. Look, I don't mean to offend him, but
you do mean to.
No.
As he means to offend you.
I truly do. No, that is the problem. I do everything within my power to avoid offending him, yet he still takes offense. Meanwhile, he cares not for what offends me and intentionally provokes me on many occasions.
You seen the way I treat my people?
Your people?
The like 8 people that I have here. Have you even noticed them?
I mean, on occasion. There's only a few of them. I don't really spend much time talking with them.
So I
How
kinda
do you
just
treat
look-
them? I don't know.
Maybe you watch that because I'm definitely in charge of them. But that is probably something that is closer to what most people are used to dealing with as far as the evenness of an organization.
And
If
do
you
they
care.
serve you for money, or what do they serve you for?
Because we all believe in the same cause.
You do not pay them?
That we share resources and everything like this, but no, I do not extensively pay them. No. But I also don't. I don't make them make me clothes. I don't make them sleep. Like they can do what they wish to do, and if we
Are
do,
they
and we are at our encampment,
soldiers?
yes,
Well, then there's the difference. My people are not all soldiers. They're craftsmen and miners, cooks.
I'm going to strip away
urchins?
this right now. Ed Malik, you add a lot of pomp and circumstance to things at its barest core.
What does that mean?
You keep on, when I tell you something, I say, do not bring up the demon. You say, what I do for the people of Nachar. These two things have nothing to do with each other. And you bring them together. Me treating my people who are not craftsmen and stuff like that has nothing to do with the fact that your people are craftsmen. It's about the treatment of the people. You get into the weeds of things and hope people
You
get
act
lost.
like I treat my people poorly. I do not treat my people poorly, and I take great offense at this insinuation that I treat them poorly. I do everything you ask of me. I am here in this room because you ask it of me. I'm sorry.
You are allowed. It is fine.
I'm not like Dirham.
This you are not. Eder Malik, if you were treating your people poorly, you and I would already have an issue. I do not think you are treating them poorly. I do not think you treat them as well as they could be treated. I do not care about this. If you want to treat them better, then treat them better. If you don't, then don't. I do not care. Dirham cares, though. Dirham cares, though.
Yes, I can.
You do. If you were on a ship with 100 Ubas, how would you treat them?
If I was on a ship with 100 Ubers?
If each one of these people was an Uba, if I gave them all a monkey mask, it was like, pretend these are all Uba.
Well, then that would leave me in a very funny pickle. I don't know how I would be able to feed him. I mean, he only eats grapes. I have seen him sneak a slice of bacon or two on more than one occasion, but he's not supposed to.
Imagine that he's allowed to eat anything, whatever it takes to get you there. Get out of the weeds, Ed Malik. If they were all Uba.
Then the problem becomes I don't have the means to fund 100 Ubers. Ubers doesn't really take care of himself. I have to take care of him, or someone has to take care of him.
But these Ubas all have different talents. So how would you want those Ubas to be treated? I don't need your answers now.
I would want them to be treated as best they could.
Then just...
But they can't... But I wouldn't have the means because I would have 100 Ubas sitting around doing nothing, and I would have to provide for all of them.
Maybe you should look at yourself.
I can't do everything. I'm trying. I truly am. But I can't be everywhere at once. Everyone must serve and provide in whatever way they can. Whether it is your strength that you contribute, or your soldiers' swords, or Stephanie's fantastic cooking. Each of us provides in what way we can.
And that's fine. I am asking you to look at them as tiny, self-sufficient Ubas. Just put that in your mind and do what you will with it. Also, do not bring up the demon slave. That is all.
I don't understand. We literally, the plan that you just told me was that you are going to ask him.
Don't call it a slave.
But you're asking him to use it to find the mask maker. That is the plan. So it's related tangentially to the plan.
But it's already been done.
He's already summoned the demon. You've already found out where the mask maker is.
Well, by the time we talk to him, that should be done. I need you to hear me. Do not use the word demon and slave with Dirham. That is it.
It is demon slave, though. It is. Very funny. Very funny that he's accusing me of slavery. And he has a demon slave.
And Malik, I don't know how to make you hear me. I just hope you do. And I walk toward Dirham's room.
Okay.
How's your demon slave bit? And bam, comments.
I will follow him abjectly.
Dirham, do you summon the demon, not slave, and do that before they get there, or do you wait for them to arrive?
That was a good 5 minutes. He's had plenty of time.
Yeah, the question is, does he do that, or does he?
That's true.
I thought he was waiting for you. That's gonna be awesome.
I even said you could do it.
I would say Dirham is probably with the demon and has asked the questions.
Okay.
So I would say through the course of that, he said, do you know who made those masks? Do you know of any mask makers in the town? Do you know what the masks were made of?
The mask did not appear to be of mortal make. It appeared ensorcelled in some way, but I did not get a close enough look to study it to see what it was made of. But it was far beyond what a normal craftsman could create.
Okay. Once my associates come, they may ask some questions. Just be ready to answer.
And then your associates arrive.
Dirham, and our new friend.
He is a Nanik.
Jake the Nanik. Nice to meet you, Jake.
Hello.
What is Jake?
Nanik, whatever you are. Jake Nanik, is that what you said his name was?
I am Nanik.
Okay. Oh, just Nanik.
That is his
I don't know.
Suppose race. That is what he is.
Oh, you don't have a name for him.
I did not name him. No, I asked him if he had a name, and he said his name. He is Nanik. They don't generally have names. They are simply creatures of purpose and habit.
So kind of like one track mind, like cats and pigeons don't name themselves.
Yes.
Dogs do name themselves.
Well, I asked this. I asked the demon about the specifics of the mask, to which it said that it wasn't able to really study the mask. It doesn't know much more than that. It was bound by an individual that wore a mask there. However, it said that it was not of mortal make, ensorcelled. Potentially someone of a similar power to us.
Well, that is interesting. That is very useful information.
If there's other questions that you two can think of to ask, feel free to do so.
How long were you in service of the masked person?
My 1-year service was almost completed.
Oh, you formed a pact.
I was bound.
Bound by this, and this master whom you served. They were a sorcerer themselves in order to bind you as such. Is it possible they made their own mask?
It could be possible. I do not know their capabilities, aside from summoning and binding myself.
And after your year was up, where would you have gone?
If the binding was renewed, I would have stayed. If it was not, I would have continued with my task.
And what was that task?
To find knowledge.
And that's just your task? That's like your purpose? That's what you like to do? Or is that like...
my desire.
Very nice.
When was the last time you had seen your previous conjurer? Did he enter the shop often?
I did not see the masked individual after the binding.
What was the purpose of those robes? We found robes with sort of binding written into the seams almost. Was that for you to wear, or was that for other demons?
That was for other demons to wear, to be hidden.
So there are more demons in the town.
Hides them.
That is possible. I do not know.
Are they Naniks like you, or are they other types of demons?
Some, maybe.
But you
They
don't
did
quite
not
know.
engage in that near me.
Ether Malik, you took some of those robes, didn't you? You had your people bring some back?
Oh, well, yes, I have them on board, actually. The ship. I had some of our seamstresses going through them and taking a look, seeing if they could be repaired.
I just go outside and I like knock on like the wall or whatever to get some like one of their attention.
They come running out when they see that it's not Adramalik. They look a little less enthused. But
Ether Malik wants you to bring one of the robes that we found.
then their eyes light up again and they rush off to go grab a robe.
Yeah, and then I wait for them to return. Do you want him to put this on? See if it changes him to look like person.
But we can try it. I don't think that will be the.
Is it what it does when you say
Pretend.
hidden?
It doesn't have the ability to do so, if I'm not mistaken. But let me see.
No, the
Could be
clothes.
the
He said
robes.
hides
The
them.
robes could be the thing that allow to appear as a man, as we saw in the shop.
Was that the case?
I never wore one of them, and they did not bring the demons with me. I just know what they spoke of.
So
As
hidden could mean lots of things.
As my understanding has come to be, the individual who bound the demon there put the guise upon him. Is that correct?
Yes,
So what would these robes hide then?
What was the purpose of the robes?
To hide.
to hide
Hide what exactly?
the demon wearing.
It could be invisibility, it could be a disguise, it could just simply mask their aura so that they do not appear to be demons. We don't know. There's not enough information.
It's true, but we could put it on, and if it changes him into a human, we'll at least rule that out of there.
For a demon of knowledge, you really don't know much.
He seeks knowledge. Demon of seeking knowledge doesn't mean he has all knowledge.
Oh,
You're
that's
doing,
a fair point. No, that's
doing
a
very
good
well,
point.
Here you go.
He takes the robe. He then turns to the do you wish me to wear this?
Sure, put it on.
Oh, that was...
He nods and then puts the robe on. He
Had to
does
ask for
not
permission
change
there.
form when he does.
Oh, well, there we go.
Can you sense him as a demon? Do you still sense his demonic presence?
I never could do that, so I don't know.
Where is Strings when you need him?
That was just ghosts.
I didn't know. I just assumed he could sense things. Well, I mean, it doesn't appear to be adversely affecting him. Perhaps we keep him in it.
George, there isn't any disruptance that Dirham can tell from his connection with the demon, correct? When the
No,
robe is
you
on?
still feel your connection to the demon.
Okay. Would you like to keep wearing that robe?
I do not have a preference.
You know what, Nanik? I think I'm going to do you a favor. Given your stature as a insectoid-like creature, I'll have my seamstresses outfit it so that it'll be a bit more comfortable for you to wear. I don't want you to, if you're going to wear it, to be inconvenienced in any way, as that is clearly designed for a more humanoid form.
The big hump has got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's got to be, yes. I can easily have
like with the clothes.
Samantha fix that up for you, yes.
It would probably draw the one sleeve up.
Had not noticed.
You can take off the robe.
As you say, takes off the robe.
Adjamalak will retrieve the robe and hand it over to his associates in the hall and ask them to have it outfitted to fit the insectoid.
Of course,
thing.
Of course, sir.
Any other questions that we can consider?
So your person, they would have made the circles that bound you around the room, right?
Presumably.
But it's been almost a year. There's not going to be any smell left on those.
Well, if no one else visited the shop besides ourselves and the master and this creature, perhaps. Did anyone else visit the shop frequently? It looked sort of run down.
The shop was frequented by members of society.
He had customers.
Just any regular old person? Yes.
No, those who were part of the society.
Oh.
Which society would this be?
Those studied my kind.
How often did they visit the shop?
Not often, perhaps once every few weeks.
When was the last time they visited?
He stops, he thinks. It had been 43 days.
Is that longer than normal?
Is that enough time?
Yes.
Could you track them, Rakeem, given that amount of time?
Anything's possible, but it would certainly be much harder if I could.
Well, we can investigate the shop, see if there's any clues that we missed, though I think that, if I'm not mistaken, we already sort of took things from it, so I don't know what else there would be. I feel this might be a dead end.
Well, I can always see what mask makers my followers have found. You can question them, see if there's any... Now that we know that it's a magical mask, perhaps some of them use more arcane methods in their production, and that would be a deciding factor in questioning them.
Do we think there's any other avenue concerning this? Is there anything else we wish to ask the Nanik?
What do you know of people who have symbols on their heads?
What kinds of symbols?
Glowing symbols.
What kind of glowing symbols?
A circle with a dot in the middle, a circle with a line through it. I describe Adjamalak's symbol. I describe my own symbol. I describe string symbol.
I am not familiar with them. Would you like me to research? Looks at Dirham.
Just seeing if you know.
Why can't you do something if we have
Looked at Dirham for an answer.
You could look into it, right?
I could, yes.
So could you do that? That would be of great help to us.
I would need access to information.
We don't have a library to send this demon to.
So it's not that he goes back somewhere with the library. He's saying, can I go do that?
So you would just do the research for us, but you still need access to research materials.
That is correct. I do not create knowledge. I find knowledge.
And given your current appearance, I imagine it would not be possible for you to just waltz into the whole of records and begin
do not
searching.
know their opinion on my kind.
Well, here's a bit of knowledge for you, because you like it. You do not look normal, and people
I
who
look
at
like all of my kind.
Yes, but not like the people who live on this plane of existence. Not like the people here. You see how I look. You see how Dirham looks. You see how Rakeem looks. We do not look like you, because you are the oddity here.
It looks at each of you. My kind all look like this. You three look very different from each other. Are not then we the normal and you the oddity?
Where you come from, yes, but where you are now, no, because location-wise, they are different places.
Your presence might upset people, is what he's saying.
Yes, that is putting it nicely.
I can dematerialize.
Wait, you can be invisible?
You mean like become invisible?
Looks at you, the blank expression of a praying mantis.
Yeah, I was gonna say the way he always looks.
Yes.
I mean like this, and then Adjamalak stands still and becomes invisible. I spend one mote to become invisible.
Yes.
Can you move while you do it?
Yes.
Dear, we could just send him behind someone who has a writ and let him study in there, couldn't we?
That is a good idea.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
We can.
Would you want to? I don't think...
I mean, if he can turn invisible and there's no duration, how long can you sustain this invisibility? That's what it's called, by the way. Invisibility, just for your knowledge.
This is not invisibility.
What is it?
Will dematerialize.
So but you can move while you do it.
Yes.
So you become like smoke?
George, can you describe what we're seeing? Because the ambiguity that this mantis is describing what it is confusing my tiny little brain.
It makes sense to me.
It's not doing it.
I, as Rich, understand.
You're talking to a giant mantis head. So
On
as
a
far as
hunchback.
seeing adjustments and any sort of character, it's a giant mantis face.
No, but is it invisible right now, George?
No, it didn't do anything. It's just standing there talking to you.
Oh, what changed?
Nothing.
He's just telling you
nothing.
things.
He's just
What
talking.
does it think happened?
Nothing.
Nothing. It didn't do anything.
You think something happened. Yeah, no,
It did stuff. It just said I can dematerialize.
Yeah, it just said I can.
It didn't say it would.
Didn't say it did.
Can you please dematerialize for us so I could see if you're invisible like me?
I could.
Can you do it then, please?
Please show us an example.
Do you have to ask him for permission? Like just do it.
This is quite taxing to regain my material form. If I do this, I will not be able to again today.
So you can only go invisible once per day. Is there a duration that you can
Require time to
Reform.
rest
So if you were to do this now, how long could you sustain it?
indefinitely.
You could permanently just remain dematerialized?
But then I could not interact with.
So when you do not have tangible form, you can't touch things. You would need someone else to be looking at the exact thing that you wanted to look at in order to obtain the knowledge.
Yes. Or
But you could
I
do
would materialize.
But as soon as you do, you can't re-dematerialize.
I can re-dematerialize, but I cannot re-rematerialize.
So you could, in theory, dematerialize, go to the Hall of Records, study that which you could see, and then once you felt your ability to reconstitute yourself return, leave at the next available moment, return to the boat, and rematerialize.
In theory, however, I could not direct any study.
It would just be whatever was open.
My
on the
ability
table.
to find specific knowledge would be impossible.
Well,
I
the
would
alternative
need
is
material form within.
we could find someone who would be interested in looking at the material we wanted.
Or we have him dematerialize, get into the Hall of Records, and then once it has closed, rematerialize and begin overnight.
If there are patrols, he would most certainly be caught.
Well, he can dematerialize if he's in danger.
No, he said he could only do that once per day. If he rematerializes, he would not be able to dematerialize again, right? Or am I misunderstanding this? Sorry, there's a lot of D and re and me materialize, and it's all very much for me. Simple invisibility just seems so much more straightforward.
Materializing in your plane costs my strength. I have limited reserves. It is taxing to.
So you wouldn't be able to dematerialize, wait until no one's in the Hall of Records, materialize, and study. You would need a significant amount of time to be able to dematerialize again.
The dematerialization would be easy, but rematerializing not.
So then it
So
would
it's
work.
easy to get away. That's exactly what we need.
So then it would work. In theory, we could leave Nanik to try and grasp whatever information he could while dematerialized. And then once the Hall of Records closed, materialize, seek the most valuable of knowledge, and as soon as danger arose, dematerialize and return back to here. It's unfocused, if I'm being honest, but it's an option if we can't get in.
Well, that seems to be the case as of right now. So,
What would those
is there
hordes
any
want?
reason not to send him there?
I'm just trying to
Probably
think.
information about.
No,
the
but they
Mackin's
want
order.
something. They're attacking specifically this place, so I'm just trying to think.
I mean,
of
they also
what.
have an army nearby. I mean,
No, I
it's
mean, what do they
it's-
want? Why are they coming? The Barbarian Horde is coming specifically for the Hall of Records. There's something in there they want to know.
No, the barbarian horde's coming because this is a staging ground for future
No.
invasions.
No.
The silver,
No, opposite.
the Law of Autumn is coming for what's in the Hall of
Nope.
Records. She's the one who wants what's in there,
Reversed.
right?
Nope, reversed.
The barbarians want it as a staging ground to continue the attack, but the Lord of Autumn and the
Nope.
Queen, if I'm not mistaken, are interested in what's in the Hall of Records.
No, barbarians.
George, clarify. Help.
Barbarians want what's in the Hall of Records. The silver pallets or silver whatevers they want.
Silver Pact.
This would
So
be
we're
a memory roll.
I know it though. I don't have to.
Well,
remember it.
yeah, but if they are uncertain, they can make a memory roll unless they have eidetic memory.
Oh my God, that's a thing.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that would be great. I'm taking that next time. George, what do I remember?
Yeah, I'll roll.
I'll roll too.
What's memory? What's
I haven't
memory?
rolled this game.
I presume it's intelligence something.
It's just, I'm gonna guess straight intelligence. It's usually almost always intelligence something. So I'll say it's intelligence lore.
Awareness lore.
Yeah, intelligence lore is probably correct.
That's 2. So I gotta roll 2 dice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's a botch. I definitely don't remember what I thought I knew.
I got a 6.
I would have loved it if you both failed and you were like, no, you're fucking wrong, Rakeem.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Adramalik, yes, you are correct that this is what it was. And that makes complete sense. The barbarians want to attack, and the Silver Pact wants the information. Dirham, no. For some reason, the barbarians want the information, and the Silver Pact wants this as a staging ground. Lore of Autumn specifically seemed disinterested in the information that was in there.
I reinforce Smiling Mountain. I'm remembering it now. Yes, for some reason the barbarians want whatever information is in there, and the Silver Pact wants this as a staging ground.
What a stupid brain I had that I remember that with no sleep.
Hey, we're thankful for it.
Thank you.
Then how about this instead? Hall of Records. In order to get in there, the one thing you need is a writ. But if we just send Danique in to grab a writ, that way we can go in and look firsthand. We don't leave it to chance of potential information that's glimmered, and we actually get a way to get in.
There's one small problem with that plan, and that is that he could dematerialize, go in there, rematerialize, grab the writ, but the second he dematerializes, the writ will just fall through his hands.
Is that true, Danique?
He can't carry the writ back out if he's dematerialized. He would have to walk out fully as Danique.
That is true.
Maybe you could throw it out the window.
It's not invisibility, and there aren't windows to the Hall of Records when we went there last, right?
Really?
There weren't windows, right? It was pretty fortified.
Yeah, no light to ruin the books.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait a second.
I think our best bet is having him just go in and get knowledge, and if someone were to come and spot him,
what's
he
the
could
knowledge?
just disapparate. Well,
How old is this city?
you asked him to look into the circles on the foreheads, the glowy circle forehead things. He could look for information on that. That's specific enough that we could get some more information,
He doesn't
because
know
we
that.
still don't know much, and we know that the barbarian horde is allied with people of that caliber. Perhaps they want to know how to create another.
Do you read faster than a person?
Yes.
How fast could you read like a book of 100 pages?
Is that a book?
How?
Malik, do you have a book on here? Any?
Yes. Hold on one second.
The Joys
Tiffany,
of Servitude. By...
Tiffany, could you could you bring
Twitch.
the monkey grooming book in? Yes, the one on the left hand shelf. Thank you. Yes.
So how long? How thick is this book, by the way? I want to know.
Oh, it's thick. We're talking
I'm a little shocked that I'm definitely like, how is this?
We're talking like a leather bound tome with like inlaid with like it's trimmed, like it's got like the little embossment.
How long
on
would
it.
it take you to read the book of approximately this size? Unless you want to show us.
Here, read.
Yeah.
I have permission to read this book
You have
as
permission.
fast as I can.
As fast as you can.
Is he gonna eat it? Is that how they get knowledge? I'm gonna fucking lose my knowledge.
No, he does not eat it, as a matter of fact. He opens it up. He then grabs some of the pages, tears them out, holds them to the side, at which point a copy of him appears, and he repeats the process a few more times until there are 5 of him in there who quickly scan through 20 pages each, put it back together, not actually together, and then hand it back to you.
I'm so fucking glad we tested this first.
And
Why didn't you tell me?
Did you just finish reading it?
Yes.
And how long did that take?
It took
A minute?
No, it took like maybe 5
30
minutes.
seconds. Oh, 5. Okay.
Holy fudge.
Okay, now, can you get us another book? And this time we'll just have him read it and see how it goes.
What? You want him to destroy another one of my books?
No, we're gonna tell him not
We're gonna have him to just read it. That's the fastest way he can read is by self-replicating and absorbing the information in a violent, simultaneous manner.
Are you going to tear my books up again?
Give him a bad book.
Normally I would use this to read multiple books at once.
So you would self-replicate, grab multiple different books, read them, and then return to your original form?
Correct.
Well.
And you know how to turn pages normally if you want.
I'll get you a new copy of that.
First of all, you're a mantis. I don't know you're being incredulous. Second of all,
Also, scrolls are more common than books.
Perfect.
Yes, he's a sassy little mantis monster.
But I don't know because I definitely cannot read his body language.
Penny, could you take this back? Just put it in a corner somewhere. I don't think Stephanie would want to look at it. And just bring one of the lighter novels. I don't know. The one about growing grapes. That's a short read.
His favorite book.
Okay, yeah.
Just read this in a traditional manner. Don't destroy the book. Absorb the knowledge.
It starts reading through it. Say it's about the same length as the other one. It takes about 25 minutes to read through the entire book.
Wow.
Okay, so he can read about 5 times faster if he splits himself 5 times. Wonderful. Can you split yourself 100 times? How many times can you split yourself?
I am limited by my strength.
Is there any way to increase your strength?
The materialization process will sap some of what I could use to duplicate.
So if you have to go invisible, or rather, if you have to dematerialize and then rematerialize, it'll be harder for you to split yourself. How many times would you assume you could split yourself if you dematerialize first?
Twice.
So you could read twice as fast while you are inside the Hall of Records.
Did Dirham make you stronger by giving you some of his energy?
I do not know.
Look at Dirham.
It turns its head slowly toward you.
I'll be honest.
Yes, how's this parasitic relationship go?
Symbiotic.
He said parasitic.
Yeah, that's parasitic is still symbiotic.
I know. It's also parasitic.
Yeah.
True, and while we learn more about our new demon friend, giving it wells of power, I'm not sure if that's the avenue here.
Why? He only wants to help us and to seek knowledge. That's his entire purpose.
Is this the plan we want to do? If so, then I'll follow through. But if this isn't, then I think feeding him my power might not be the move to make right now.
Right? This is fine. I just wanted to know if it could happen. And right now it's not the move. You're right. It was more of a can it.
I'm happy to experiment and discover more later. But if we're putting all of our chips into a demon feeding basket, perhaps we consider all options.
How old is Nachara?
Rip my book up. It's fine.
You gave your book anyway.
I said I would get you a replacement.
It was a signed manuscript.
Nachara is 400 years old.
Was it any city before that? Was there something here before Nachara?
I do not know.
So here's what I think, because this is very strange to me. A barbarian horde coming for a Hall of Records doesn't make sense. Killing themselves repeatedly for generations to get to a Hall of Records doesn't make sense. That is not a thing that barbarian hordes do. Barbarian hordes, they get supplies. They are, when you classically think of them, they take things. They're like, these are ours now because you are weak and we are strong. They aren't going to libraries. This is a very strange thing. And they are willing to let someone else live here and get all the spoils of the city to get what is inside of that Hall of Records. Why?
You don't know.
So what reasons? Because the only reasons I can think of is a few. One, this used to be their place and they need to prove it, and there's some sort of thing that will prove that they should be here inside of it. There must be something that is going to change something fairly large, in their opinion, that they get from this Hall of Records. That is the only thing that makes sense.
They seek power. There's something in there that's...
We could also be being lied to.
Oh, like they don't just want to go into
You don't trust the lore of Autumn?
I'm uncertain.
I trust her enough to have been telling us the truth about that, where there was no reason to lie about this. She seemed pretty sure of herself and her power.
Yes, she only lied with them because they are a means to her end, which is using Nachara as a staging point for future attacks against the Immaculate Order.
I'm also not saying that this is any strong evidence.
Have we considered another option?
Just to finish my thought, I'm just saying the fact that she is suggesting that there's some bond or connection to me, yet I have no reverberation to the same, leaves me apprehensive.
She seems a bit farther into her awakening than us.
Maybe, or...
Perhaps it will come with time.
Maybe she remembers my sword because it dealt a fatal blow, and she's playing against me. I don't know.
What sword? I thought you only had that wand thing.
Shink, shink.
Anyways,
I'm tall, so I'm going to say everyone needs your time looking
I
at
have a feeling perhaps they don't want anything from the Hall of Records. What if they don't seek knowledge? What if they seek to destroy? If the Hall of Records is a compendium of knowledge from all across the realm in one place, and it were all burned to the ground, none of that knowledge could ever be used against them in the future. It would be a cleaning of the slate, as it were.
Well, that's a potential. Removing some sort of scar in the annals?
Yes, perhaps there's a weapon hidden away that only tomes in there could tell us. of, and that weapon is the only thing that could stop some threat or something. I mean, I don't know. Like Rakim said, I'm just throwing ideas against the wall, but perhaps they're not looking for knowledge themselves, as it is out of character for barbarians to seek knowledge. Perhaps they are indeed seeking to destroy.
Maybe they're not barbarians, is what I'm saying. When somebody bashes themselves against your gates for generations and dying, you are obviously going to dehumanize them in any way you can. I think it's also strange that the rulers of this city do not show themselves. This is not a normal thing for a city, because perhaps they are illegitimate in their claims, and perhaps there are legitimate claims to be had in the Hall of Records that these barbarians are seeking. It is, again, this whole thing is very strange, the way this place is laid out, their inability to gain access to a Hall of Records of a city. All of it is wrong.
Well, it all comes back to them then. We need to find who these leaders are, and we need to question them.
Okay, so with that in mind then, Nanik, from your time here in Nishara, are there public libraries beyond the Hall of Records, public records that are easily observed, other places of knowledge that you may or may not know about?
Yes.
Can you point them out as far... Do we have a map? Have we got a map or anything for this?
No, I'm sure Horace has concocted something up. I mean, they've been around the city for some time.
Could you at least send somebody out to quickly grab a map or something? One of you.
Yeah, sure. I poke my head in the hallway and knock. Oh wait, there's people out there now because they're waiting because Malik's in here. Great.
Yes.
Did you guys purchase it? What?
Looking at Malik.
First of all, if you're looking at him through me in a doorway, you are an amazing person. I mean, their perseverance.
I mean, is it, or do they just need to bend down a little and they can look through your legs?
That's actually true. That's probably easier. So I just look down at them and I say, Edgar Malik wants to know if you have a map or if you could go get a very cheap map from the city.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess that they look to you for like some sort of.
Thank you. That would be wonderful, my lovelies.
Okay, we'll be back. They go off. 2 more of your identically clothed people into the city.
Okay. We have some time, so here's my thought. I can go and spend time in the public records. Find out some more information about how they have painted these barbarians. Perhaps we can glimmer past the records and see what's really going on in the history.
Like a library.
Yes, exactly.
History
and you can bring them
by
in.
victors.
That's my hope. Yes.
They could have curated their own history to paint themselves in a good light. As Rakim says, why would they allow the barbarians any semblance of humanity if they've been at war with them for generations?
And the Namik can read lots, so he can look for inconsistencies.
Well, perhaps, but I mean, I think
it would take us a long time to look for them. Like we can read through a book, maybe, but in the time we could read through a book, they could read through many and find things not said.
You could only do that if there was no other person in the library, though. I mean,
but at a minimum, I can, and when I get an opportunity in private, I can bring him out, and I can also send him away at a moment's notice. Watch, and I do it, and he disappears.
He vanishes.
Well, doesn't he? Didn't he say it cost him strength to rematerialize, or
that costs me strength. Watch, when I bring him back.
Oh, so this is your well, not his well.
Bringing him here when I
in and
choose
out.
to do so, yes.
So it's a different well. Okay.
So you could then help him materialize more.
I'm not sure I can do it as effectively when he gets farther from me. I think I need to make sure that my bond is consistent. But I haven't tested it from afar. I mean, truthfully speaking,
have him walk to the other side of the ship and see if you can still sense him as close as if he were next to you.
I'm not sure if I would feel. Why don't one of you go with him?
Okay, that's fine. Or you can just see if you can summon him within line of sight. So that way, when the door opens, maybe we can be like,
I can take him to the other side of the ship. Please come with me.
Okay, follow him.
It follows.
But stay in the ship. Don't walk outside. Don't walk outside.
You won't get far.
Thank you.
Adramalik will walk to the other end of the ship. As he does, he turns to Zeke. Are you being treated okay?
I do not understand.
I mean, when he poofs you out of existence like that, are you in like a demi-plane? Are you in stasis? Where do you go? Do you require sustenance? Do you require...
I do not require sustenance, other than knowledge.
And you have taken a liking to your new master, as it were?
I have no opinion.
So he's the same as the last. You don't prefer one to the other?
I seek knowledge. How I get it matters not.
This is a pretty sweet deal.
You're arguing with a wizard's familiar right now.
Not even. No. This is way worse than a wizard familiar. Like this is pretty much a read. This is a read robot. This is a speaking type.
Jeffrey, Jeffrey, could you run down to the other end of the ship and tell Dirham and Rakim that they can attempt to do whatever? I'm on the other end of the ship. Just tell him I'm on the other end of the ship.
Of course.
Is this how Dirham feels? Is this how Dirham feels?
I do not know.
Am I a bad guy? Do you think I'm a bad guy?
How many souls have you eaten?
You know, I have not eaten any souls, so I would say 0. At least
you are not very effective.
That still doesn't answer my question. That's that still just skirt around the topic.
You try to use the power, it vanishes.
Oh, he's gone. Can you hear me? Sazik, are you there? Can you hear me?
Okay, no. Zero, go into hallway and try and summon him at the end of hallway.
Okay. I stick my head out. Out of the way. Out of the way. The people who were in the hallway. And I attempt to poof him.
Pops up next to you.
Yeah.
It's good to know. All right, we're learning stuff.
Guess I should walk back.
All right, come back in. It's the ways of man.
It walks back in.
I think the library is a good angle.
It's at least something while we hopefully get closer to getting a writ so we can actually see what's going on in the hall records. Maybe we can get a better picture of what we're actually dealing with. I'm not saying it's going to be the honest truth of the situation. Usually whoever wins the war gets to dictate how history is written. But we can at least begin to look at what was written and glimmer possibilities beyond us just guessing why barbarians want to get into the most coveted scroll room in a city.
Is there exiles? I would start there, looking for exiled people. Exiled people, old city names, people who used to be here. Very strange.
Unless anybody has anything else to ask, we probably just gonna twiddle
the library.
Well, probably twiddle our thumbs for the map and have Nanik.
The map eventually returns.
Spots.
Horus has not yet.
Okay.
There are probably a lot of masks in the city, else he's probably dead. Moving on.
Nanik, can you mark on this map locations where there are libraries that you know of?
No.
Why not?
Because I do not know where they are.
But you know libraries exist.
Yes.
I thought you said you knew they were here.
I did not. I said I knew they were here. I did not know where they are.
I'm just gonna ask somebody on the street.
I was not permitted to leave. I was fed my daily allotment of books and knowledge, but I was not permitted to leave the shop.
Understood. Poof.
We gotta get this guy to a bookstore.
Okay. Learning more. Okay, let's go try and find a library.
Okay. All right. Who's going to a library?
Everybody. Why would we not embark on this magical journey?
Adramalik is gonna question mask shop people when Horus gets back. Also, he's still at the end of the hallway because he doesn't know when the thing's reappearing.
Adramalik, we're going to the library.
What was that? Did you summon him back yet?
Yes.
He didn't. He's not here. I don't think it worked.
No, he's over. He came here. We're going. Do you want to go? We're gonna go to Okay.
You can. Right. You go ahead. I'll wait for Horus.
What?
I said I'll wait for. Have fun at the library.
Yeah, we're going to the library. No, we totally going.
We end that bit and go to the library. Thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy our show. Come back next week for the next part of our adventure, or join our Patreon for early access to the next episode, as well as our Patreon exclusive campaign of Rippers. If you like our content, consider supporting the channel alongside our first patron, Bubble Dirt. But of course, don't forget to check out our tutorials and video plays on YouTube at The RPG Blender. If you want to stay up to date on our releases, you can join our Discord. Check the description for a link. Don't have Discord? No worries, find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RPG Blender. Or subscribe on your podcast app of choice. Music is The Punk Rock Show by My Free Mickey. Copyright 2012, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License. Thank you again, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms.
Sorry, how old is Rakim?
20.
No freaking way. Okay.
Yeah, like I was like 18 when we started. Like we were just graduating.
That's funny. Adramalik is actually older than
It's just
Rakim.
hard to read because he's a giant.
I was gonna say you don't know many giants, and
you have such like wisdom about you that Adramalik has just assumed to this point that you are older. But that is interesting to know.
Which is actually funny because there was a guy who's a good like foot taller than me who we LARP with, and he was 18, and I assumed he was older than me because my brain tells me that people that are taller than me are much older than me still.
Yeah. Another misconception, everyone has their own prejudices,